Hi there everyone, welcome back. A very good day. Now today I'm just going to do something special, or should I say something I used to do. Going to introduce to you guys on the aRGB factors, where you have the normal aRGBs and the adjustable aRGBs. As you see in front of you, right, these 4 strips here in fact are adjustable aRGBs, and this here a 5-meter row of aRGB. Now what's the difference? For normal aRGB itself, right, it doesn't fusion the pattern from LED to LED. Okay, else for adjustable, right, it's much more I should say fanciful. Okay, how do you actually tell between a aRGB and an adjustable aRGB? Well, just take a look at this. Let me just close up. Okay, now as you can see, right, one is actually 3-pin. Okay, this is actually adjustable. This is actually non-adjustable, which is actually just a aRGB. It has 4 pins. Okay, and of course each aRGB, right, has its own way of electronic circuits. Okay, for the adjustable aRGB, right, you have the ground, you have the data out or data in, and you have the 5 volts. Do take note that adjustable aRGBs, right, they are 5 volts, not 12 volts. Else for normal aRGBs, right, where you have 4 pins, right, it's 12 volts. You have 12 volt pin, you have the green, you have the red, and you have the blue. Now, I'm not going to take out my motherboard and show you what's actually going on. Instead, I will show you the specification. You can actually find this on your motherboard menu itself. So for the Z390 ASRock Taiji, right, has 2 functions. One which is actually the aRGB. Okay, the other one is actually the adjustable aRGB. So as you can see that it does tell you the pinouts. For example, okay, the normal aRGB, it will tell you 12 volt ground, 12 volt green, red, and blue, which you can see here. Okay, which is 12 volt green, red, and blue. Okay, which is similar to this. So having to say this, right, what you need in order to shoulder this and to connect to your motherboard, you will need this. Okay, of course you can sleeve it to black so that no one can actually see these visible cables. For a start, for beginners, right, I would advise to use this kind of cables because it does tell you what is what. As the white is in fact 12 volt, okay, then followed by green, followed by red, followed by blue, which is actually on your motherboard. If you were to go against here, okay, you see that, oh, the other way around, sorry about that. Okay, you can see that the 12 volt is in fact the white, the green, which is the green cable, red, which is actually the red cable, and blue, which is actually the blue cable. Okay, now for today, right, I'm not going to do the aRGBs. In fact, I'm just going to do the adjustable aRGBs, which is this, where you have the ground, data, and 5 volts. And of course on your data sheet itself, right, on your motherboard, you have ground, data out, and volt out. So obviously if I were to put against here, okay, you'll see that ground, okay, data out, this is data in, okay, and the 5 volts, which is the last one. Okay, I'm just going to move on to the case and let you guys know how I fiddle with it, because I'm not going to use my motherboard adjustable because I like everything to be physically controlled. Okay, so I'll be right back. Welcome back. Okay, this is actually my case, the Lian Li Lancool 2. Now, as you know that the front bezel itself, right, it does illumine the adjustable aRGBs, and where it get the data from, right, in fact it's actually on this chipset itself. Alright, I am just going to put down my camera and I'll be right back explaining to you how the data, how you actually control from the casing itself and to project on the front bezel, where you can actually do extra strips, which is actually this, okay, and to clip on here. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, as you can see that this is actually the front bezel here. So you can actually see all these readings down here, which is actually ground, then followed by the data in and the 5V. Okay, which in terms that I've actually taken out this controller here, in fact it's actually fixed over here. I just pull it out. So this cable here, right, the one that is actually attached to the casing itself, it is actually to the controller of the casing. So you can just unplug it, right? Having to say this, right, this is actually another source whereby it plugs to your adjustable aRGB, okay, which is this. But of course I need to actually solder it. Now, how do I actually see the readings? As you can see, there are 3 pins down here. Straight away I can tell that this is actually ground, this is data, this is 5V. And if you move over here, right, it does tell you the reading. See, I'm not too sure you can see. Yeah, see, the single pin here, right, is actually the ground, followed by the data and the 5V. And it will push us to terminal whereby one, it will go to your one is actually the source in, which is actually through here, then the other one out to another adjustable aRGB besides the one that's controlling on the front bezel. So if you to see here, right, you were saying that, oh, which pin is which pin? Straight away I can tell that, okay, the first pin here, this is actually the ground, this is the data, and the last one is the 5V. So how do I actually verify that? If I were to do this, okay, you can see that over here is actually the ground, center is actually the data and 5V. So when you plug this in, right, the 3 cables, okay, let me just remove this. So remember the orientation that I've actually plugged in. Oh, pretty tight. Okay, this is the orientation that is actually plugging in. So I go against it, and I know that, okay, the first cable is the ground, the second, which is actually the white, is the data, and the third one is 5V. So on the other end, as you can see, okay, ground, data, and 5V. So what you need to do, right, on your strip itself, right, probably you need to do some shouldering, which I can actually use this cable. Okay, this is directional, which is actually in, and over here is out. So do not shoulder at the out point. Okay, see, out, and this is in. So you got to shoulder at the other end. Okay, which is this. So you have the in, data in over here. So you have the ground and the 5V. Having to say this, right, this is actually the outlet. So this is going out, the voltage, the data and everything. So you just need to actually pair it properly. Okay, see, this is the ground. Okay, center one is actually the data in and 5V. So you still can use this cable here. All you need to do, right, just to take note, probably you miss you just forget about the red cable. You can shoulder the white as ground, okay, then followed by the green, which is actually the data in, and then the last one, the blue one, as 5V. Okay, I have another video that does shouldering, which is actually on my fan on the Arctic Bionics F140 and the P140. Probably you can actually check it out and how to do the shouldering. I'm going to skip this part, as in how to solder it. Okay, probably do some pictures and screenshot just to let you guys know that how I solder it, and I will show you the final product. Okay, I'll be right back. Welcome back. Now, I do apologize to you guys that I've actually shortened the process and I've not shown you exactly what I've done, how I did the shouldering, how I did the crimping, etc, etc. Anyway, having to say this, right, this is actually a finished product. So I've actually sleeved it properly. Okay, this is the actual length. And why is it this length? Probably you might be saying. Due to the fact that this side itself, right, the vents here, so it's about this much. So that's the reason why I did it this way. Okay, and I'm just going to show you guys something which is actually quite interesting. I found that there's another contact point where I can actually connect this end, right, to the casing controller. Okay, if you guys remembered that I have actually mentioned that there is a connection point over the other end of the case. Let me just shift this here, which is here, this here. Now, I found out that there is another area whereby you can actually plug the connector to. So, what I did is, as you can see that I've actually clipped inside here. Okay, I'm just going to zoom in. Okay, there is another connector which is meant for the aRGB out. So I've actually made use of this contact point. Okay, now the results. I'll be right back. Now this is actually the final product. As you can see that it works. I've actually did a search on this aRGB strips from the original company itself on the net, but somehow couldn't get any information. And I believe it's going to be like probably a bit pricey. So that's the reason I choose to actually do the aRGB myself. Now the aRGB that I've actually made use of, right, is known as the IP67. It's waterproof, but it doesn't come with a double-sided tape, but it does come with a rubber housing on the LED itself. And if you decided to actually go with the IP65, which is also waterproof, in fact that comes with a double-sided tape. Now one thing to take note that these aRGBs that I've made use of, right, they are of 60 LEDs and not 30 LEDs. Now I have included the links of where I got those aRGB from and the connectors itself. I'll just leave the links on my description, so do have a look. I hope you have enjoyed this video, so I'll be back for more videos. Till then, thank you for watching.